Here's your Farm and Ranch Report from the Montana Ag Network.
Hello everyone, it's time for today's Farm and Ranch News. Well, today we see USDA's weekly crop progress report is out, and no one is surprised to see that spring wheat planting continues to lag behind across the nation here in 2019.
Very slow planting progress in the northern plains states. Nationally, 22% of the spring wheat planted by May 5th, well behind the 5-year average of 49%. And even behind last year's very slow 27%.
The biggest delays are in South Dakota and Minnesota.
Minnesota just 7% planted versus the 5-year average of 51%. South Dakota 19% planted. 5-year average there is 76%. Spring wheat emergence languishing due to late planting and very cool conditions. Just 4% of the spring wheat emerged by May 5th. 5-year average 19%, but we were similarly slow last year at 4% emerged on the 5th of May.
For Montana, spring wheat is up 9% from last week with 32% of the crop planted, but behind the 5-year average of 50%. Looking at other crop progress numbers now, 32% of barley in the state has been planted behind the 5-year average of 59%. And planting of pulse crops is progressing with 33% of the lentil crop planted, which is ahead of last year's progress of 19%. Reporters in Choteau and Judith Basin counties reported winter wheat, pasture, and hay are showing stress from freezing temperatures, and growth has been hindered. For winter wheat, it's reported with 96% of the crop breaking dormancy. Conditions were rated as 81% good to excellent compared to 54% this time last year. Don't go away, we'll have more ag news right after this. Returning back today, looking to trade news, China says it still plans to send a delegation to Washington this week for trade talks, despite President Trump's announcements in a tweet that he'll hike tariffs on Chinese goods this Friday. Trump is ratcheting up pressure on China with plans to hike from 10% to 25% tariffs on $200 billion in goods. The tariffs are an effort to dissuade the Chinese from backtracking on agriculture, cyber, and other commitments in the trade talks.
If we can complete this effort, and again I say if, and can reach a satisfactory solution to the all-important outstanding issue of enforceability, as well as some other concerns, we might be able to have an agreement that helps us turn the corner in our economic relationship with China.
Of course, we talk about it every week, but agriculture groups are still crossing their fingers a trade deal can be struck as soon as possible. And finally today, the Department of Agriculture announced options last week for repayment to dairy producers who participated in the Margin Protection Program for dairy, now replaced by the Dairy Margin Coverage Program. To be eligible for repayment, a dairy operation must have participated in MPP during the 2014 through 17 time period and have the repayment calculated and verified by Farm Service Agency. Elect one of the two options by September 20th, 2019, and of course, sign up begins June 19th. For more information, just go in or call your local Farm Service Agency office today. And that's all the time we have for today. Have a great day, everyone.